Welcome to the Immerse podcast. We are your hosts, Dan Ramsden and Alex O'Keefe.
Join us and our guests as we dive into real stories of entrepreneurship, health, fitness and self-mastery. No fluff, no filters, just honest conversations that inspire, educate and challenge the norm. Let's get into it.
We're on.
Stations go.
Shall we do a breath?
We're in.
We are in. Good morning.
Good morning.
We have another special guest. It's round 2. Grace Ramsden.
Ding dong. Hello,
Just
everybody.
me and thee, lass.
I know.
Had a bit of an unforeseen circumstance this morning.
Just the two of us.
And it's the two of us. Just a quick recap. How are you doing?
Yeah, really, really good. Thank you. It's been a crazy 12 months since we last spoke. Well, it's just over 12 months, but it's absolutely flown by. I found myself watching.
What is it now? Is it maybe about 16,
probably
18
about 16,
months?
18
Something like that?
months, which is crazy because, as we will discuss, there's been plenty going on.
Yeah, well, that's why we wanted to go again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a good sort of like 16 months of it, obviously very much focused around Hyrox, running,
Yes.
fitness, travel, all the fun stuff in life. And yeah, let's get into it.
So let's go back, just for anyone who didn't listen to the first episode. Grace, tell us a little bit, again, just really quickly, brief background story. Former rugby league player, professional, moved into the online world, which has now provided a full-time career for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So been doing sort of like content creating, let's call it, for maybe the past 2.5 years now, full time, which originally started out very much down like the lifestyle route. There were lots of travel and obviously a relationship was involved in that. So it was like, couple content and everything like that. And then about 1.5 years ago, which is roughly around the first time we started speaking, I was completely changing up my content and going down the route of, just solely fitness.
Healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, healthy lifestyle, full fitness enthusiast, and really channeling, going down that journey, going through a massive weight loss journey as well, retiring from professional rugby league and, just finding something new to pump my energy into and being able to share that and not share as much of like the personal side, which, was a bit difficult at first and it makes your content less personable, but it was just a kind of route I wanted to go down at that moment in my life. But we're slowly bringing back some of the lifestyle stuff now, which has been nice. But yeah, it's been a wicked journey and, looking forward to seeing what's to come. Plenty to talk about.
Well, what I think is a beautiful thing is sometimes when you speak to a lot of people that you haven't maybe seen for a while, how's it going, mate? I haven't seen you for a while. And that same shit, different day kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I don't really like that, if I'm honest. And it's really not that for you, is it?
No.
There's always things going on. There's things to look forward to. And I think the beauty about the first conversation that we had is you were talking about what your intentions were.
Yeah.
And what you were aiming to do. And some of the potential brands that you wanted to collaborate with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all come true.
Yeah, it's all come into fruition. So I found myself watching the old podcast, just to sort of have a look and see what I was, have a look and see what I was speaking about then in comparison to sort of like what I wanted to share with you both. It's not here, with you both now. And just sort of watching that made me really reflect and actually appreciate all the things that I've done sort of over the past 16 months. Within 16 months, I must have done 14 in total Hyroxes. We've just done a backyard ultramarathon with
heavy.
One coming up this weekend. We've done 10K races, local competitions. It's, we've got a cruise coming up with Hyrox. We've got the Hyrox cruise.
Oh, that's cool.
I know there's just so much going on now that it's
Where's
not
that?
Same shit, different day. It's different shit every day. And I love that.
Nice.
But the cruise it's Malaga back to Malaga. So it's Malaga, Barcelona, Marseille, back to Malaga. So yeah, I never thought I'd be getting on a cruise again after, all the royal cruises and stuff like that. That was all lifestyle side. I feel
Yes.
like it's done a full 360, come back around, and we're getting on another cruise ship, but
Weird.
with a different
Yeah,
purpose,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is just
But
so
more
bizarre.
aligned with you, right?
Exactly, just completely aligned with everything we could have wished to achieve and everything that we wanted, and the whole reason why, I started doing that kind of content in the first place was to get these sort of things which were me and completely just solely me and what I wanted and believed in. It's it's great. Looking back on the old pod, I was thinking to myself, like, what's fantastic is working with all of these people now that I said I wanted to work with, but also back then we were speaking about how I wanted to be as a person and what I wanted to be like, and not being a yes man and having the ability to say no and that being okay. I was watching it, smiling, thinking I'm still that same person now, which is great because when we was doing it the first time round, I was going through a period in my life where I was, finding yourself is just such a cliche saying, but like I really was trying to figure out who I was and what I wanted to be, and
shedding some layers.
yeah, shedding some layers big time. And now I sit back and I watch that smiling, thinking we nailed it. Like we're in a good place. We achieved everything we wanted to achieve, and we're still going, and it's great. And we're setting new goals and new targets and doing things that I never thought was possible.
Nice.
Which is just unreal.
So just a quick one for the listener then. So if somebody is one of those people that when you cross paths with an old pal that you haven't seen for a while and you say the sentence, how's it going? Same shit, different day. What's your message
to them?
Yeah.
I feel like it's honesty. Me and Alex spoke about this before. So like if you came to me and you say, "Oh, how have you been, mate?" and I say to you, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." That's just such a generic response, isn't it? We always say, like, if you say that to me or I say that to you and you give me the honest answer, we're gonna have an honest conversation.
Yeah.
And I always find, like, if someone comes and says that to me, they'd have a shock because they might not get the response that they're expecting, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't start conversations like that anymore. I always just like delve into like whether it's like family, relationship, whatever, like me and Alex find ourselves just getting straight into the conversation.
Yeah.
So it's like, instead of beating around the bush, just dive straight in with what you want to speak about and what you want to say.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of having a good connection and good people around you.
100%. But I'm not bothered like who you are. If you say to me, "How are you?" and I'm having a bad day, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, good.
And I feel like it's having the confidence and, to being able to say, actually, no, I'm not great. That's something that I started doing a couple of years ago, just being like, yeah, no, actually, I'm not all right. And I still do that now. And I feel like how people respond to that is how well connected you are or how well connected you're going to be after that conversation.
Yeah. Okay. That wasn't what I were expecting, and I like that.
What were you thinking?
But it's just honesty, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like, be honest with that trade-off.
100%.
Or don't ask.
Or don't ask. Exactly. If you don't want to know how someone's actually feeling, don't ask.
True.
That's how I've started seeing things.
Yeah.
Because I'll never ask you how you are.
If you don't really want to know.
If I don't really want to know.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask how you are because I want to know, because I either care or, I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah.
That's,
Fair dues. No, that's such a generic British welcome, isn't it?
100%.
Like,
I've seen loads of like TikToks on it and stuff like that before, where it's like how we communicate with an opening line is so different to how other people around the world communicate with an opening line, like Americans and stuff like that. Everyone's so honest and open with the feelings off the bat, whereas we're not. We're very generic. We'll just be like, yeah, I'm fine on repeat, when actually that might not be the case. You might be on cloud 9 and be absolutely buzzing and you've got so many things to share, or you might be not feeling 100% and you could do with just offloading a little bit or getting some advice.
Yeah, I can totally relate, because that was something that I did that was such a huge mistake. because I found myself in a position where, you know, I've been PTing for such a long time, and I'm that kind of person who's supposed to be upbeat and supposed to be welcoming and inspiring and this and that. And you kind of like, I don't know if it's a pedestal, but it's kind of like, I'm serving this person. I want to meet them with good energy. So you get used to saying, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
exactly.
I'm fine. And let's focus on you. Whereas I was dying. My soul was dying inside.
Yeah.
And I was taking myself off, and I'm crying in the toilets and stuff at work. Like nobody knew it because I wasn't being true.
Exactly.
And it went on for far too long. Like I was in absolute turmoil for about 18 months internally, but nobody knew it. I can hide it well, mate.
Yeah,
which is
I'm
not
the
good.
same.
It's not good. Is that rugby? Maybe, you know, that conditioning of I'm fine.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
It didn't hurt.
On
Get up.
repeat.
I'm fine. That didn't hurt. Go on, do it again. Maybe there's a bit of that conditioning that's wrapped up in that as well.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I've always been the kind of person to just be like, I'm fine. And that had to change because I was the same as you. I was going through a period in my life where I was just like, not fine at all. And it was a case of how much longer can you hide this for? You know, people are looking at you thinking, actually, she's not all right, sort of thing. You know, my dad were dead worried. My mum and my dad were both dead worried about me at one point, thinking, she's definitely not okay. Like, there's something going on here. Like, she's not herself, sort of thing. And I do hide it really, really well. And I used to always just say, like, I'm sound. Like, don't worry about me. Let's talk about you, sort of thing. And that's not always the case.
No.
And it's just the acceptance of knowing that that is completely okay. You know, you can't always stand on that pedestal. And, you know, we were just briefly talking before we started about success and failure.
Yeah.
Without the failure, you're never going to see the success. And I think people are starting to talk a little bit more about the ability to fail and the acceptance of failure, because how are you supposed to reach the next thing in your life, whether it's sport associated or not? How are you supposed to get there without the failure? You know, I find myself failing more now, but being positive about it because I know it's going to lead to something successful.
Yeah.
I want to fail now, whereas I used to not want to fail at all. But it's looking at it in a different light. It's turning it on its head for me.
The emotional attachment to it.
To failure, yeah. I go out with the intention to fail because you best believe I'm going to succeed eventually. You know, it's mindset. It's changing the negative connotation with the word failure, I think.
What were the catalysts to getting you there in terms of flipping that switch?
I think...
Was it the process of failure?
Yeah, it definitely was a process of failure, because I wouldn't be, you know, sat here now having to retire from rugby. I saw that as a failure, and it actually wasn't a failure at all. Like, I wouldn't be sat here today, you know, I got massively injured, put on loads of weight. I wouldn't be sat here now if I hadn't have failed throughout the process to get here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing back-to-back competitions trying to improve if there wasn't bits of failure hidden inside of them.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's all about. It's about being able to repeatedly fail in order to succeed, I think, you know, and it was about adjusting my mindset to understand and accept that, you know, I felt like I was just massively in like a hole of not necessarily being okay, and like knowing that I had to change something, but being able to get up every day and going, do you know what, we're going to go and try and run today, whether it's 2K or 5K. You know, we're gonna run, and we're probably gonna fail at some point, and we're gonna start walking, or we're gonna want to give up and stuff like that. It's knowing that you're gonna fail, but you're gonna get there eventually, and that's what I just did on repeat, was fail on repeat in order to gain success.
Yeah. I think one of the things is being open to just ride the wave of whatever it is. You know, like for instance, you've never done a competition before and you don't know how it's going to go down, and you don't want to fail, and you don't want to come last, and you don't want to look stupid, and all this shit that starts ruminating before the task has even happened.
Yeah.
That can really affect the performance of the task that you're trying to do.
100%.
And it's like, if you just remove it and just go, you know what? I'm just going to give it a go and I'm going to smile through it. It's going to be hard, but it is what it is. Like, let's just go. And if I suck at it, if I go again, I'll be better next time. And it's thinking like that and being really kind to yourself in that moment, not having too much of an expectation of it.
Yeah, without a doubt. You've got to try. You've got to try at least, you know what I mean? It's trying different things and find out what works for you. And I do fully believe that smiling makes a huge difference. Like,
pretend.
Yeah, pretend. Smile through the pain, pretend. I feel like people I've seen people speaking about it on Instagram a lot recently, how they smile through competitions because it makes them feel better in their head. And I'm just like, that's so true. I do that. I already do it. Like, you'll never catch me literally like in a Hyrox or whatever. If I am dying, I am smiling. Like, I have to be able to smile because otherwise I feel like it just drains you. I don't know. I feel like the worse you look, the worse you feel.
Yeah.
The better you look, the better you feel. Like, just put a smile on your face and just keep going and pushing. Yeah. That's what I did learn a lot. And like on a lot of my reels and videos,
I do see that. You've always got a big beam going on.
Always smiling.
Yeah, I respect that. I like that. I don't even think I've got that in me.
I honestly don't think I'm smiling inside. Believe me, I'm not. But I'm smiling on the outside because it makes me feel that little bit better.
Yeah, I try to just dial into the music. I'm a proper music man, so I'm always trying to vibe with the DJ. So I'll look around and I'll be like, "It's my tune, this."
But that's your way of smiling. It's your way of getting through it.
You go, you know what I mean? And it's like, hey, come on then, and then get into the groove of it. And
of course,
that's your way of enjoying the experience.
You've got to have something. Otherwise, what we're doing it for in the first place? You know, we're
supposed to enjoy it.
Exactly. We've got to enjoy it at the end of it.
Can you give an example of a failure, you know? So for example, you know, you've just said you've done like 14 Hyroxes since we last spoke. That's a heavy amount of work.
Yeah, it's
like
a lot.
The training's hard to get prepared for a Hyrox, let alone actually doing the thing itself. And you've done about 14 of them, so I'm sure you've learnt some lessons in that process.
Oh my God, the amount of lessons is unbelievable. So even just going from before a Hyrox, I've failed a million times over on my diet, on my training, on how I'm sort of like getting ready for a comp, like the week of the lead up and things like that has changed massively over the season to get to a point of like, okay, now I think I'm starting to do this right.
Refine it.
Yeah, exactly. So I now think, because I look into the details of everything, you know, I'll look at my heart rate on stations and I'll look at like my run splits and I'll break everything down and I'll compare to everybody, because that's just who I am, and I've always got a goal in mind and I'm always looking to do anything I possibly can in order to achieve that.
Nice.
So it started out with failing on my preparation and like not doing the right amount of running in comparison to station work and stuff like that. And it got to the point now where it's like I feel like I'm massively being able to refine it. And I think the Hyrox season's, you know, starting in like within the next sort of like 8 weeks. And my advice to people would be to do as many as you possibly can. If you are new to it, do as many as you possibly can. Fail as many times as you possibly can, because then you will start to get it right.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, and I don't regret it at all. Like, people were saying to me, how many are you doing? Like, you're doing another one in 3 weeks and you're doing one in 3 weeks after that. This time last year, I had 6 lined up, and it was like back to back: Hamburg, Birmingham, Dublin, London with Alex, London again. That's 5 between September and December. You know, there was just so many, but all I was trying to do is fail on repeat and learn as much as I could. So my genuine advice is, people say don't do many in a season. My advice would be actually do as many as you can, because if you don't, you're not going to understand how to get it right. Yeah, basically.
Well, training's one thing and competing is another. Well.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, those nerves and the actual race day, and then if you're getting into a tangle with somebody, and you know, you're like, oh, this is the pace I'm wanting to try to keep up. Have you conditioned yourself to that sort of pace? Have you been there before? You've got to go there, haven't you?
Yeah, of course you do. Have you done the right work? And it's such a new thing, and people are still trying to understand it and find the right balance and program it right.
Yeah.
You know, people are paying coaches hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that think that they're...
Sorry to interrupt this amazing conversation. We've just got a quick message for you. At the heart of this podcast, Dan, is human connection.
It sure is.
And now, it's amazing for us to say that we also build fully bespoke saunas from design, build and install that also promote the exact same thing, mate, human connection. There's a theme here.
There is. And all built to last, like we just keep saying. We wanted to provide products that last a lifetime, not just for a matter of months. Yeah. That's exactly our ethos and our message. So we wanted the products to match that, and they are the highest quality, the highest form of timber, the best quality heaters, and tempered glass to suit.
Wow. We've not spared expense there, mate. If you're thinking of upgrading your space, whether it's your home, business, studio, wherever you can fit a sauna, basically, we can build it for you. So visit us website on immersesaunas.co.uk and we'll take it from there. We look forward to building your dream sauna shortly.
Oh yeah.
Got the right, you know, code for it.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, I don't really think anybody's necessarily got the right code for it yet. You know, you'll see all over Instagram.
Everything's individual.
It is. And everybody's like, do this, do that, do this, do that. And it's like, you've got to do what's working right for you.
Yeah.
You know, I take a lot out of what people do, but like I'll make it more specific for myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where the improvement's made. You can't copy and paste somebody else's program because it's not necessarily going to work for you. And Lucy Davis, she did a TikTok the other day basically saying like the reason that she doesn't share necessarily every single thing that she does is because that's not necessarily going to work for everybody that follows her, sort of thing. And it's so true. Like it's so true. You can't share everything of what you do to an absolute T because that's programmed to them specifically. Yeah. It's not necessarily going to work for you. What if, you know, I could pick up her program tomorrow and just absolutely bottle myself into the ground and couldn't end up with numerous injuries. And then what do? Blame her? No, that's on you. You've got to be able to understand yourself in order to get the most out of yourself.
Yeah, I got asked a question in a seminar once and they said, what do you eat in a day? And I said, with all due respect, that's absolutely none of your business. Because it's for me and it's what I fuel on and it's what I operate on. It's what makes me feel good. And yeah, you've got your staples and you've got your tick boxes, you know, of try reduce this and eat more of this and make sure you're getting your protein and split your macros accordingly, blah, blah, blah. You've got your basics. But then off the back of those basics, it's a lot of refining for that individual to figure that out. Of course. So yeah, it wasn't just a cutthroat answer like that. It were then backed up by a bit of context.
Yeah, but absolutely, like you've got to. I love sharing things like what I eat in a day, but I'm not telling you what to eat in a day because I don't know what. Like I wouldn't know what you would need to eat in a day. So the last thing I'm going to do is tell you that.
Yeah.
I'll happily say to you, this is I have X, Y, and Z, but don't. You know, don't copy my diet because if you ate what I ate, there'd be not left here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
And it's knowledge, isn't it? It's sharing knowledge in the right way.
Yeah.
That's the danger of social media, 100%. I think. That's the danger of what I do is I try and share as much knowledge as I can, but in the right way.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be telling people what they should and shouldn't be doing. And I get a lot of messages off people being like, you've been through a massive weight loss journey. How do I do it? And it's like, you know, how do you respond to that? How do you say to someone?
It's not a couple of sentences.
No, it's not. Like, we're going to be here all day because...
And they ask you a question, you ask them 5.
I'm going to have to ask them. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to have to ask you a million and one questions in order to actually understand how to answer your original question properly. It's so dangerous.
That's integrity.
A lot of people now are just sharing such generic content that can be quite dangerous, I think. And it's finding the balance of being able to put as much as you possibly can out there without it being too generic.
Yeah.
And without it, you know, not hitting the right people with enough knowledge of being able to take that away and break it down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The integral way and the ethical way is not sexy for a lot of people because it just doesn't sell. It doesn't sell a product and it doesn't sell a method. And I think that's a huge problem.
For sure. I hear now people saying, oh, wait, if I say, well, you know, where are you getting that from? Where's your training block come from? And they're like, oh, yeah, I've just chat GPT'd and I've just asked it to put me something together. And I'm just like, oh my God, there's no way.
Yeah.
That to me is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, there's no human interaction, human contact. There's not enough questions asked. There's not enough understanding. If you ask me, I couldn't just go to ChatGPT now and say, put me a running block together because I'm running a backyard ultramarathon. There's no way.
Yeah.
It terrifies me, that. And it's like, yeah.
Well, it hasn't operated in your shoes for all these years and you know, recovered from the injuries and all the rest of it.
It's terrifying. People just like, yeah, just get it off ChatGPT.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah. And also other sources on the internet, you know, being careful about where you're getting your advice from and what they're saying, what they're promoting, what are they pushing. If they're saying something, it's having the critical thinking to ask a few more questions, you know, like, yeah, but what about this? And what are the studies on that? And where are you pulling this information from? And, you know, that sort of thing. Oh, it just so happens that they've got a book that's about to come out. Maybe they're trying to push this book on me. Do you know what I'm saying? They're trying to sell you something. It's like, you know, and if you're selling the truth about health and fitness, then, you know, that it's a bit of a slower, steady state that you've got to consider,
for sure. Because there is so many incredible people out there and athletes out there that you should look up to and be inspired by and want to understand, not just want to turn around and be like, I just want to do everything that they're doing right now.
Yeah.
The shoes that they've been in before getting to that point will be absolutely crazy and unbelievable.
For sure.
Like, you've got to be able to understand all that before you get to that. You don't just get to that.
No.
And that's where the understanding of it comes in, for sure.
Yeah, that's it. One of the things that I enjoy geeking about is understanding nutrition on a deeper level. And sometimes the more that you know, the more that you feel that you don't know as well. You know, when you start digging into that rabbit hole. Can you tell me some like you've said before, like, I made mistakes with my nutrition and my fueling. What were the mistake?
So I've had experiences where I'll eat. All right, let's go to something completely new that I've just done. So Mission 247.
Yes.
So
crazy.
Crazy day.
What is that first?
So it's a backyard ultramarathon with ski, basically. So from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. this competition runs.
It's absolutely mental.
I know. And you'll set off on the hour and you will run I think it was something like 5.2k.
Yeah.
And it's through the trails. So it's not flat or anything by the extreme. It's up, it's down. It was through part of a quarry. There was no tarmac involved. It was all just like gravel and stone. There were some brutal injuries and some broken toes and split legs and stuff like that on that day. Yeah, first lap, someone absolutely conked it.
Oh wow!
Split his knee straight open. It was.
Yeah,
it was it was an intense
in the heat
intense
as well.
day. Yeah, it got hot at one point. So 5.2k on the hour, and then as soon as you get back, this is in teams of 5. Everybody runs. As soon as you get back, you split the ski erg, however you want for the remaining hour. So you could split it up where you're doing 2 minutes per person, or you could split it up where you're doing 45 seconds per person and you're rotating. And as soon as that hour's up, you're back on the start line and you're ready to run that 5.2k again. So it's like 60. It ended up being just over 60k of running, and I think we were averaging between sort of 7 and 10k on the ski every hour.
Oh my God!
As teams of 5, and that's the first event I've ever done of that capacity. I'd run a half marathon before that day, and that was years ago.
Right.
Every single part of my training over the past 2 years has been solely improving my running for Hyrox.
Yep.
Not
that.
Preparing for a backyard ultramarathon.
No.
I had no knowledge and no understanding of how to fuel my body for that. So I literally was cramming pasta down me for a full week.
Yep.
You know, I said I want pasta every day for a week. I got to the day and my belly just couldn't cope with it. And I knew that. I thought, I've made the mistake here. I've had way too much, way too soon. There was just no need for that. And so...
So way too soon, as in too early in the week?
Yeah, I started fueling way too early in the week. And there was just no need to have pasta every evening for my tea. There was just no need for that. Like, that was just silly.
Yeah, okay.
So from a nutrition standpoint, yeah, it was carb loading too early for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then on the day, I'd have I took tuna pasta with me, which would have probably been smart to do on the day, but I physically was looking at this tuna pasta thinking, get away from me.
No more pasta.
I don't want anything to do with you. And I had some chicken wraps and some bagels as well. And the bagels were fine, but then I was chewing on these chicken wraps thinking that was a mistake having chicken. There was, I knew not that I didn't really need protein on the day. I just needed to eat plain carbs, sugar, like honey.
High glycemic.
Yeah,
simple,
exactly.
Low fiber.
Simple but effective stuff that's going to just get me through the day.
Yeah.
So I ended up eating handfuls of my mate's rice, and I was literally down in honey and all kind. It was just some kind of rural experience, I think, at one point. And now I've got obviously another backyard ultra marathon on Sunday. I'm now
You are crazy, man.
No, I don't know what's got into me. I get asked to do all these things and I don't say no. I never say no to much.
Yep.
Like when it comes to a competition, if somebody's saying, Grace, come do this, chances are I'm saying yes. Like, you could ask me to go and run across the country tomorrow and I'll give it my best shot.
Nice.
That is literally just the person that I am.
Yeah, that's cool.
So after the Mission 247, Strong, a company down in Hull, messaged me saying, we're hosting a backyard ultramarathon. We loved you at Mission 247. Do you want to be part of one of our elite 10 athletes? I was like, fuck yeah. We're doing it. Yeah, let's go. And that's on Sunday.
Okay.
So 2 backyard ultramarathons in the space of 1 month. I've never done one before in my life. And now here we are.
Now we're here.
Yeah. And I love it and it's great and I'm really looking forward to it. But nutrition-wise, which was the original question, I'm fueling completely different this week. I've not felt the need to touch on carbs early. I've not felt the need to start cramming myself full of food. I've dialed back my training, which is what I wanted to do. I'm eating what I normally would eat and I look forward to a big meal on Saturday night sort of thing. I'm not trying to just cram and make myself feel a little bit unwell unnecessarily before it. And my fueling on the day is completely different. Like the things that I'll be taking with me and buying and stuff like that will be completely different. So we're hoping for a good outcome.
It's quite common in the endurance world where, people are getting bubble guts and, they're potentially oh my God, I feel like I'm going to shit myself, that kind of thing. And it's you're getting your fueling wrong, and it's that sort of thing where you've either eaten too much fiber or you've crammed too much food in your gut that your body's not used to exposing. Your gut's not used to holding that amount and all that sort of thing. So and that is an experiment.
Of course it is. You've got to, but this is what I mean as well, going back to the Hyroxes and stuff like that. People thought, why the fuck is Grace doing back to back to back to back to back? Well, it's because I'm trying to get the experience under my belt and the understanding of how to fuel, how I'm going to perform properly, what my strongest stations are, what I need to go away and work on. That's the same with this backyard I did one 3 weeks ago. Now I know how to fuel for it differently. It's an extra 20 something kilometres on what the other one was.
Yeah.
But there's no ski.
Well, let's face it, mate. There's not as hard as a game of rugby on your body. So because you've done that for years and years, it's this is just like a training session.
Exactly.
Don't get me wrong. It's competing and you're pushing yourself, but you're not taking collision like that. And that's harder on your body.
So what's really weird is, for me, a lot does go back to rugby. So it's in my head, I'll run and I'll be doing a Hyrox, which is nothing associated to rugby league at all. But I'll be telling myself that this is going to last as long as a game of rugby. You are going to be okay. no matter how you feel right now, a rugby game is 80 minutes. This is going to last less time than that for you. You're fine. Push. Keep going. Because nothing is worse.
Especially
Nothing
when you're
feels as bad.
fatigued and then you get blindsided.
Yeah,
You know, that's not going to happen. No one's going to crash into you with a sled.
No.
Hopefully.
Hopefully not.
But
But there's a few elbows running around them
but you
tracks.
can put it in a context like that when you've been exposed to real hard shit, you know?
Oh, without a doubt.
Taking some bad collisions and being fatigued when doing it.
Definitely.
I think it just sort of puts it all into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, without a doubt.
I bet you never imagined stepping down this sort of elite endurance route, though, did you?
Never. I never did. Literally, one of my friends from Camp Kaizen, who I've been working with recently, George, who runs it, just messaged me one day and was like, Mission 247, we're in. Are you doing it? And I was like, absolutely. Like, I love Represent as a brand and like 247 as a brand and what they stand for. Like, I love what George does. And I just thought this event is such a cool event. How could I actually say no to that? You know, it's something I've never, ever done before. And I used to be the girl that couldn't even run 5K, never mind 62 kilometres in one day.
Mad, isn't it?
Like, it's such a huge difference to where I was a year and a half ago to now when it comes to running. I used to convince myself that, like, I am not an elite runner. Like, I'm not even a long distance runner or anything like that. And now it's like, oh, actually, I'm all of the things that I said I wasn't. And that was just a mindset thing. And now I've changed my mindset and understanding what my body is actually capable of. Then I'm unstoppable. Do you know what I mean? Like, mindset for me is everything. You can, if you have a strong enough mindset, you can lose and fail over and over again and still feel like an absolute champ and a winner.
Yeah. Ultimately, that's what people really respect, though, isn't it? You know, when you go out on your shield, if you've had a really good dig and you've put it all in, well, there's nothing else. Like, if you didn't get the decision that day, it's okay.
Yeah,
because I gave it everything. It's when you didn't give it everything, and it's kind of like you regret that.
Yeah,
I think there's regret. You know, if you've got like
100%,
this is my only chance to do this, kind of thing.
And I'm my biggest critic, so I always feel like that I could have done more.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a rugby mindset as well, is you'll come away from a game and you'll know you could have done more, or you'll feel like you could have done more, especially if it's like a narrow loss. What if I'd have just done that differently? What if I'd have just done that differently? And it's always, I still do that now. It's like, probably could have still done more, probably could have just ran a little bit faster, could have just done a little bit more there. And that's where like self-criticism is a huge factor. And if you channel that in the right way, then improvement will come off the back of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm always so self-critical, like, could just do a little bit more there, could just do, but not in a bad way. It's because I want to be better and I want to improve.
Yeah.
And and I'm always inspired by people who do that, because like after a rugby game or whatever, I'd always speak to my dad and he'd be like, this is what you did really well, this is what you could have done better. And it's like, I feel like I still do that now. I carry that with me, but I do that myself. Like, this is what I did well. This is what I could have done better. Let's go away and work on that. And those are the kind of people that inspire me. You know, people that are constantly PBing and constantly just shining light on all of the amazing achievements and stuff like that. Like, good for you. I love that. But where's the bits that you've not done right? Like, what got you to that point? That's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm inspired by.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not bothered whether you can run a half marathon in like, you know, 45 minutes, or whether you can run a half marathon in 2.5 hours. It doesn't matter to me. It's more about like the process that you got there, because you're not going to inspire me if you can finish first more than the person that's going to finish last. It's the story that gets you there. That's what I like to know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
That's what inspires me.
Yeah. There's probably not enough people putting that across, you know, because let's face it, you know, and you know more than anyone, we're living in an online world, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot we're consumed by content. There's content everywhere. And, you know, and
it can be so difficult to just constantly see people winning. Do you know what I mean? Like I compare myself to everybody. I'm a massive critic, whether I do it for a job or not. I'm still always comparing myself to everybody. And you've got to kind of detach from that a little bit and just kind of like set your own goals and stand on them. So like I had a massive goal last Hyrox season. I wanted to get an hour and 15 in a solo pro so that then I could come away from that and go into this season with a new goal of like an hour 10 and just slowly chip away at that until I got to the point where it was like massively competing. And that I didn't get to that point. I got to an hour and 17 and I was annoyed at myself for that because it was like, fuck, like, well, you know, where was I going wrong? What could I have done better? But then I'd still shared all of that. I still made my intentions very clear for the season. Like, this is what I want to achieve. And whether I did it or not, you best believe I'm going to share it because that's part of the process. Like, I was closer to a PB at the beginning of the season than what I was at the end of the season. So like Barcelona was my last race and my worst solo performance.
right.
And it was like
That's a shitter, innit?
Yeah, there was a lot going on that like over the course of that week, but it was no excuse necessarily to like how I performed, but it was just one of them things.
What do you think went wrong, or is it not that? Do you think you just did one too many?
Yeah, I feel like I genuinely, and I came away from that, and well, I went into it and I said to my mum, I said, I'm just not in this today. Like, I feel like it's one too many. Like, I feel like I've just done one too many this year, and I'm just in a way where I'm just like,
it's almost travel as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And like, my dad ended up not being able to be there because he was in Spain because my grandma was poorly.
Right.
You know, it was the anniversary of my other grandma's like passing and stuff like that. And I was just like, my head's not in this today. Like, I'm literally just doing it to do it. And my running was really good. Like, my running was probably the best it's ever been. The splits were great, but the station work was shit. It was red hot. I had dry mouth from the get-go, and I was just running thinking, I just don't even want to do this today. And it was just one of them days. And it just wasn't a great performance. Whereas 6 weeks before that, I was in Glasgow PBing. And it's one of them things where it's like, you just learn, do you know what I mean? But some people would not share that on their social media channels and stuff like that. Whereas for me, it's like, no, I've said I'm doing it. I'm still doing it, and I'm still going to finish it, whether it's shit or not. Like, I'm not pulling away from it, and I will still share that and share the journey because that's what's important.
Respect.
What's the point in just being like, I PB'd here and ignoring the fact that you've just done a race where you did it like 5 minutes slower?
Yeah. That's inspiration.
Exactly. That's what I feel like is important. I set out with a goal of achieving 115. Did I achieve it? No. Will I? Yeah. I know I will because I know I'll work hard enough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And it will come.
Yeah. And it isn't always necessarily working harder as well. It's like being smarter about everything.
Exactly.
You know, like your nutrition, like when to taper off.
Yeah.
You know, that all those sorts of things start to compound, don't they?
Yeah, without doubt.
That sort of elevates the performance on the day because you're just doing those little things, right?
Yeah, it's the 1%.
I was saying it before, like if I'm competing, I virtually take the full week off.
Yeah.
I'm just moving my my stiff ass around, you know. I'm just like trying to mobilise, trying to stay loose.
Yeah, but it's understanding your body as well at different times of life.
Yeah, that's it. It's like I'm doing things differently now from, you know, what I was 10, 15 years ago. I'm not the same guy, you know. So, and in order to keep doing this stuff, I can't keep doing what I did. Otherwise, I'm going to break down.
Exactly.
You know, so and it's knowing when to do that.
And it's understanding your body and yourself and being honest with it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I understand that completely.
Yeah. We are not there yet.
Not yet. Not quite.
You're too young for that.
I'm stroking 30 though, mate. Christ.
Oh, come on.
I'm not far off.
Please.
A couple of years.
Please. Don't even go there. Christ. Yeah, so one of the things that I wanted to cover as well, which is, you know, part of the previous conversation that we had, you had this huge, like, trip planned, all paid for, everything that we, you know, we're all gearing around this trip to Australia, and unfortunately you couldn't make it, and it was, you know, unforeseen circumstances, you know, involved, you know, a close family member, and I guess like there's nothing in life like a perspective shift, like something like that.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
all right sharing that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we last spoke, my dad had.
Sorry to interrupt you there, guys. We've got a massive announcement, Dan. We've managed to partner with Pure Sport, which is one of the most exciting brands at the minute in the UK, my friend.
That's it, built to last, in it for the long run, as the hashtag says. All the similar sorts of messages behind the ethos of the brand, and it really fits in alignment with us. We know that they're athlete tested.
Even Lucy Bronze is using their products. She's a friend of the show.
The magnesium and the ashwagandha and all those other products that are related to recovery are super useful for me right now. I'm really feeling the benefit. The electrolytes is definitely the best I've tasted.
They're the best I've tasted as well, without sounding biased, my friend. But yeah, it just lines up with everything that we preach, mate. No shortcuts, just solid daily habits that actually make you feel better.
If you want to try these guys, use the Immerse 10 for 10% off at the checkout.
Now back to the episode. Sorry for interrupting you there. Crack on.
Let's go.
3 back-to-back heart attacks on the bounce. And, we was due to be going on a family holiday to Canada, and then I was due to be going to Australia, which is what you're referring to there. That was definitely a once in a lifetime, all expenses paid for, full calendar plan. We went through the whole calendar of what was planned.
I know.
We had skydives and all of the amazing things that I love in life, but nothing that I love more than my dad. And I didn't want to, and I didn't go, and I didn't want to go, for that reason. And I have absolutely no regrets on not going or anything like that. Like, obviously, I've just gone through a big public breakup, massive shift in where I wanted my content to go. Dad's not well. It was all of these things, but there's absolutely no regret of not going, because it meant that I could also focus on all of the things that I wanted to focus on, including myself. Like, I wasn't necessarily in a good position at that point either, regardless of what was going on for us all as a family. So, and I never shared any of that on social media either. Like, this is the first time that I've ever shared about what my dad went through and stuff like that, and what that did for us as a family, and how it actually motivated me as well to do better, because, my dad's my whole world. He's my bestest friend in the world, and like, coming close to that moment of like, fuck, he's not invincible or anything like that, really motivated me to want to do all of these fitness things and all of these crazy challenges and all of these mad competitions, because life isn't always promised tomorrow, and you've got to do what's right for you. And that motivated me in ways that, like, I stayed in the UK and I just pushed myself beyond belief to be better and do better and be a good athlete and be a good daughter and be present, and like, just understand that, like, all of these things that I was doing was massively important to me and massively important to him. And, I didn't go to Australia, but I am going on the Hyrox cruise, and it's because I changed up my content and I didn't go to Australia, and I stayed and I did loads of other things instead, sort of thing. Like, everything worked out in the end, and like, touch wood, thankfully my dad's, massively better now and on the mend and stuff like that. But it took us a long time to get there.
Yeah.
He went through a lot, and he's probably one of the strongest people that I know, and he's a massive motivator in my life. And
It shook you to your boots then, didn't it?
Yeah, massively. And he's present at everything that I do. Like, one of the reasons, obviously with Barcelona, like I said, he wasn't there, and it was like not his fault or anything like that. But like, it's just, I don't necessarily do the best when they're not around, like, especially my mum and dad. So like, I just wanted to be there and be here for him, like he is for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I get all of my mindset drive and everything from him. He's taught me everything I know in that respect, and like motivation and stuff like that. He makes me believe that anything's possible and I can do anything, sort of thing.
Nice.
So yeah, that's the reason why Australia didn't happen, and I've no regrets about that either, because it's meant that like I was here for him, and it's also meant that I was here for myself as well. You know, I had to sit with a lot and face myself head on and just sit there and think, do you know what, like, you want to do all of these things, you want to be the best athlete you can possibly be, then pull your finger out of your ass and do whatever it is possible to make sure that you are that. And that was a huge...
Who you say you're going to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a huge wake-up call in that respect.
What did you learn about yourself in that time?
That I am more capable and I should have more faith in myself. I never had enough faith in myself to be able to just be like, to just go out and do whatever it is that I wanted to do. Whereas now I've got massive amounts of faith in myself, and I trust myself, and I trust my ability to be able to do anything. And I mean anything. Like I said to you before, you could ask me to go and run across the country tomorrow and I would give it my best shot, because I feel like that's just my mindset.
Yeah.
And I had a huge mindset shift when I just knuckled down into training, and I knuckled down into kind of just going into a bit of a dark place and then putting myself through the grind and then coming out of the other side, sort of thing, and doing all of the things and being the person that I said I was going to be, instead of just sitting there and wallowing. You know, for me, there was nothing worse than that. Like, I had to just fucking go head on, and I wanted to make my dad proud as well, because like, he believes that I'm capable of anything, and that's where I get that from. He believes I can achieve anything, and he'll be the first person to tell me that I can. So like, I just want to be able to do that and make them proud and me proud.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's a massive motivator.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, it gives you that purpose.
Yeah, it does. 100% purpose and perspective.
Yeah. I know it sounds proper cheesy as hell, but it's like, you know, when people talk about the why and those sorts of things, and wherever you're going to set the goalposts, that's where you're going to sort of roughly end up. So if your goal's not big enough, and then the goalposts are easily achieved, then you reach your goal. There's no else to work for.
Sure.
So it's like those days where you don't want to put your trainers on, and those days where you don't want to do that extra 5K, and you don't want to do that strength session.
Yep.
You don't want to, whatever it is that you know, said that you were going to do, that you think you should do, and you don't really want to do because you're not really feeling it that day. That why there is what makes that happen.
100%. Without a doubt, there's been 1,000,001 times over the past couple of years where I've literally like stared at my trainers and just been like, no, not today. Like, not today, fuck off. And then like 30 minutes later,
you're off.
They're on my feet and I'm off. Because it's knowing the difference between your body being burnt out and your mentality being burnt out, and knowing when to push. Do you know what I mean? It's like knowing and understanding.
Is there a sweet spot there?
Well,
who knows?
I think so. Like, so many people when I first started out, like massively smashing my training and just being like some kind of animal, just going all at it head on. You're going to burn out, you're going to burn out, you're going to burn out. And it's like, I'm not going to fucking burn out. What is this burnout that people keep talking about? For me, I've always said it, there's no burnout, there's always breakthrough. That's just how my mentality works. And I don't know if that helps me either get through a burnout or prevent burnout or whatever. Like, whenever I feel like I'm just on the edge and I'm like, I'm going to fall off it. If I do one more run, I'm going to fall off. I just break through, and I'm just like, right, we're at the next level. What's next?
Yeah.
There's no burnout for me personally. Like, there's just breakthrough.
Well, the burnout was probably Barcelona, let's say.
Yeah.
but you were still active.
Yeah,
You're still
exactly.
doing
I
the
was
thing.
still going, and whether I were burning out or not, it's like
but you were just a realization of maybe that one would just
maybe that will want too much. Yeah,
But that's experience to pull back on then as well.
Yeah, of course. And like there was probably a lot of mental factors there for that.
Yeah.
Like I say, like with my dad not being there, it was an anniversary. My grandma was unwell and stuff like that. Like there were just so many different things going on at that point when it was just like it's just one thing after another, and now I've got to go run a Hyrox and try and push through, and it was just like just not today. Like the mentality wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was there, but the mentality just wasn't there, and that's the thing. It's the switch in perspective. It's like sometimes it's not, and that's okay, and sometimes it is, and it's just knowing the difference of when to push and when to not.
Yeah.
Like even last night, I was umming and ahhing whether I was going to go for a run or not, because I was just like, got a backyard coming up. I do need to run really, but like I'm just getting through a couple of niggles at the minute, and it's like, do I run? Do I not? Do I run? Do I not? And I thought, do you know what? You can run. You should run. Get off your ass and run. And I went and ran. For some reason, just absolutely stormed it. And it's just knowing the difference of when to put your shoes on and when to not. Like I will genuinely sit and stare at my shoes sometimes for an hour and just think, there's no chance. I can't. And then I'll go and run, I don't know, 15k and be like, idiot, you should have gone. And I saw a reel not long ago.
You have any internal mantras or anything? Do you have anything like
me and Alex, we always say like random things, and Alex once said to me like, I am the mind, not the flesh.
Yeah.
And I love that one. I love that I am the mind, not the flesh, because that's where it lies. I think
that comes from the Bible, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yeah.
And it's like, if that is there, everything else will get there. And this is where it comes into, like, people are obviously looking at Kenyan runners and stuff like that at the minute because they're just amazing athletes, and they will run in the morning, go to sleep, run in the evening, and they have the time and the ability to be able to rest their body enough and recover enough to be able to get maximal performance out on repeat.
Yeah.
But there was a guy being interviewed, I can't remember his name, but he's a runner, he's a Kenyan runner, and he said, like, put your shoes on, run for 5 minutes and see how you feel. If you still feel shit after 5 minutes, stop. But the chances are you're going to feel fine after that first 5 minutes. All you've got to do, and I do this now, you've just got to get the first 5 minutes out of the way and then see how you feel. And literally 95% of the time, when I felt like not running at all, I've put my shoes on, I've ran for 5 minutes, and I've thought, that guy was right. And it's so true. You just get the first like 5 to 10 minutes under your belt, and the chances are your feet are in a rhythm, your breathing's in a rhythm, and you know you're all right. But the first 5 minutes are always the worst.
Yeah.
You get through that, you're fine. And I live by that now as well.
There's one thing that I heard David Goggins say.
I love David Goggins.
Yeah, he's out there, and he's a funny guy. It makes me laugh. Genuinely makes me laugh. He don't mean to be funny, but
No.
I just find him funny. And he talks about the inner bitch, and I totally get it. Like, I've never sort of differentiated that myself, and I'm like, yeah, I know that. We've all got that.
Well, I'm sure Hunter McIntosh once said on an interview, like, one of his inner mantras is "Don't be a bitch."
Yeah.
And he'll literally say that on repeat, like, "Don't be a bitch, don't be a bitch."
Yeah. And I talk to myself like that, but sometimes I talk out loud. Like I can, that voice drops in and tells me, maybe you should take it easy today.
Yeah.
You need to slow down. This feels heavy.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to do this now?
Yeah.
And I'm literally like, fuck off. Say it out loud. If somebody were hearing me, they'd be like, what's up with him?
Yeah.
But I'm telling it to go away because, and I think doing those things on repeat, the hard things on repeat, getting into cold water, doing things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You never really want to do it.
No, but you do
but
it.
You just do it anyway.
Yeah, you do it anyway.
And, you know, I'm like, come on then. You know, I'll say it out loud, come on then. And it's almost like I'm challenging myself. I'm talking to myself. I'm having a little war, but you can overcome it.
Of course you can. Without a doubt. Like, I find that as well with Hyroxes, people find them quite intimidating. But when you break it down, the more I break something down, the worse it feels or the worse it seems to me. So, like, if I'm running round a track or whatever, like the first K, sweet spot, it's out the way, like it's fine. Then you're into the ski. And then when you come off the ski, you can literally start breaking it down to yourself. And I do this in a race. Right. I've literally got 7 more K to do, and I've got 7 more stations. That's it. And I will literally just count the Ks down, because people say 8K, 8 stations, like, wow, and it is a lot and it is hard. But when you break it down, it's like, right, 7K left, 6K left. And you just tick. It's like a checklist. Yeah. It's like, break it down.
Yeah.
Literally break it down a sled length by sled length. Do whatever you have to do in order to be able to get through it. Have your inner mantras, because I do really believe that they are so important. Like, I really do love that I am the mind, not the flesh. That has got me through so many races and prep for stuff like that. I remember literally mine and Alex's London XL comp. I was running around being like, I'm the mind, not the flesh, I'm the mind, not the flesh. When I was literally on death's door, people were probably thinking she's not right in her head. And I was just stomping around saying it, because you've got to have something.
You do.
You've got to have something. And I also do love, don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Literally, don't be a bitch. Yeah. Get it done.
That's it. There you go.
Because I also think that tomorrow's version of you is going to reflect on this. Make it a good reflection. I really do believe in that as well. Tomorrow is going to come and you are going to be fine. Get it done.
Don't you think it's proper cool when you feel proud of yourself?
Yeah, it's a mad feeling. But do you not think it's crazy how little and often, little we feel proud of ourselves, and we should feel more proud often? Because I do. Because I will do a comp or whatever, or I'll get a class brand deal in, and I should be more proud of myself than what I am. I should have been more proud of myself after the Mission 247 than what I was. But instead I was reflecting on what I could have done better. And instead of just taking a step back and thinking, you should be really proud of yourself. And it took me a few days, and I actually sat back and I thought, God, imagine if a couple of years ago you'd have said to yourself that you'd have just done that. There would have been no way. You'd have laughed at yourself. So be proud of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the difference.
And again, that's got its limitations, hasn't it, in terms of,
we can be so self-critical.
Yeah. Yeah. Too much. Yeah. Too much to the point where, it's detrimental to your progress, because you're just picking yourself apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, that's a journey, isn't it? I'm definitely different in that respect. I'm not sort of paralyzed by analysis anymore. I'm free. I'm just I'm going with it, and it's fine. It is what it is.
Comes with experience, does that as well? And you've got to care less. I went through a period where I was like, why do I care so much what people think of what I'm posting? What has gotten into me? And I went through this phase a few months back, and I started to put a lot of pressure on myself, and I started to care more what people think, because I felt less supported by the people around me. And I was just
why?
Because
you were succeeding.
Yeah, and I felt like the more I was succeeding, the less support I was getting.
Lonely.
It's a lonely. It can be.
Not saying that I'm successful, but the less people cheer for you,
the more successful you are.
You do.
Yeah, and it took me a minute to process that and not be affected by it and not feel hurt by it.
Yeah.
Because it's really weird to see now. Now the majority of things I post are supported by my mum, my dad, my partner, and a very couple of people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I just
that's all you need, though. Anyway,
it is for sure. But then I'm surrounded by all these people daily, and it's you're just not as supported by people close to you. And I just went through this weird phase of letting it affect me and be like, but why am I not as supported anymore? Am I doing something wrong? Is it my content? And I thought, it's not. I don't know what it is, but you've just got to keep posting. It's your job. Fuck what people think and stuff like that. Get back to posting, get back to being you. Stop caring what people think, because I've never cared before. And I just went through this really weird phase of just feeling so little support from people. And I'm not saying anything about them. I love them to bits and pieces, but it was just a massive, why am I not why do I feel like nobody supports me anymore? Do you know what I mean? And doing the job that I do, everybody seems to want to do, but don't realise how much of a fucking lonely place it is when you start succeeding in it.
So I speak to a very close friend of mine quite often, and we reflect on like life, what's been and whatnot. Leon Price,
Yeah.
legend in rugby league.
Love Leon.
Like what he did. Like sometimes a thing will get shared, you know, on this day 20 years ago, and it'd be like, fucking hell, mate. Like what you were doing then was insane.
Yeah.
You know, and that were the norm. That were actually expected.
Yeah.
You know, everyone had that expectation that he were going to do that. And he had that expectation on himself. And in the moment, he weren't enjoying it as much as he should have been.
Yeah.
On reflection now. And it takes that like, oh, ain't that a shame? Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, I guess that's the thing about life. It's like we don't enjoy this present moment as much as we really should.
For sure.
Until we look at it later.
Yeah.
And that's a shame.
Yeah, it is, because I don't want to get to the point where it's like, I should have just cared less at that time what people think. What a shame. Like, I have this amazing opportunity, this fantastic platform, an amazing group of strangers that support me every single day. And like, I receive some lovely inspirational messages off people being like, do you know what? You made me want to lose weight. You made me want to get into the gym. Like, I love your journey and what you've been through. And I think, keep going.
Yeah.
If it's not for you, it's for people that you don't know. Not the people that you know, for the people that you don't know.
Yeah.
And people that follow your journey and everything like that. Keep posting and keep doing your job that you love and that you're lucky to have, no matter what people think. And I'm back in that mindset now. I'm back in that attitude where it was like, I just went through a really weird phase of like, the more success you get, the more people around you will support you less. And like, I see reels on it all the time from people with like successful businesses whose like close friends and stuff like that just show them no little support on social media, but will support everybody else. Well, do you know what? If I'm being successful and I'm in that category of like not being supported by people around me, then so be it, because it means actually I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
And that's how I started to look at it. And I thought, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I think for me, one of the keys to happiness is having short-term goals. What's coming up for you?
So we've got the second backyard ultramarathon this weekend, which I'm really looking forward to, because obviously it came off the back of Mission 247 and it was like, it's something completely brand new to me. Being an ultra runner is something that I never expected of myself, but something that I've really enjoyed that has taken a turn this summer sort of thing. Like, I had Tenerife Hyrox Solo Pro booked for the beginning of September, which I've now cancelled to be able to focus on this ultra, which is, you know, which is really fun actually. We've got the Hyrox cruise coming up in October, which I'm really looking forward to.
That sounds so cool.
I know, like, they literally just messaged one day and was like, we'd love to have you on board, and I'm doing like a running seminar on the ship and stuff like that, and
awesome.
Gonna meet some fantastic people, which I'm really looking forward to. Like, it'll be really good. I think that, you know, being able to meet all these mad Hyrox coaches and stuff like that, there's just going to be a lot of opportunities for learning with that. Then the day that I get back from that, I've got Birmingham mixed doubles Hyrox. I know.
Okay.
I know. I'm literally land and then I'm straight to Birmingham, and on the Tuesday, I've got mixed doubles with a guy called George who runs Camp Kaizen.
Okay.
Who is a fantastic guy, and he's set up a camp. You'd love it. It's just out in the middle of the Lake District, really rural kind of vibe. Gets people there that wants to just be like nailing for 3 days of like hard work. Like when I first went to it, I had a bit of an expectation, like, you know, when you go to a camp and you kind of think, yeah, it's all right, you know, plod through it. No. There's just no plodding with this. Like, it's brutal.
Right.
But that's kind of like, you walk away thinking, yeah, that was brutal, but that was class.
Yeah.
Like, I loved that, like hiking in the lakes and running in the lakes and everything like that. It's a mad cool experience. But we're doing a we're doing a mixed doubles together in Birmingham, going for the sub 60.
Ooh,
Of course.
why not?
Why not? Like, it's got to be done. And then I've got Paris Solo Pro Hyrox booked, back into the Hyrox grind after this weekend.
Well, I think with all that mitochondria you'll be building with these ultras, it should serve you well.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that it's going to feel.
It's got to do.
Hoping that it's going to make these 1K intervals just feel like a bloody breeze.
Yeah, that's it. So. Well, where can we find you if they're not following you already?
We've got TikTok, which is Grace_Ramsden, and Instagram, which is Grace_Ramsden as well.
Where are you at on your followers now?
3.5K, I think it is on TikTok. No, not 3.5K. Sorry, 350K. I think.
Just one or two. Just 1 or 2.
350, just short of 350, and then just short of 75 on Instagram.
Nice.
We're building slowly.
We are, mate.
But what's beautiful is the followers. The loss of followers has built up, you know, with like people who are interested in the fitness world. Like everything's like started aligning.
Yeah.
You know, even like I massively look at my insights, and like my management require me to look at my insights and stuff like that for brand work. They massively align now. So like the ages have gone from like 18 to 24 being my highest to now 25 to 35, which is where I want it for the brands I want to work with and stuff like that. So yeah.
And the right sort of people.
Yeah, the right crowd,
that you're wanting to speak with and hang with, isn't it?
But yeah, that's where I am. And plenty more to see.
Yeah, and well, let's hook up again in a few months' time and let's see where we're going.
I know.
Might
as well get Alex in.
We'll get Alex involved this time.
I don't know.
Nice one, Grace. It's been a pleasure.
You too.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Cheers for listening, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
See you in a bit.
Super. Dick. Whoa.